All right, what's good? So, for everybody that's on YouTube, let me know. I just started a new streaming service, so it'll probably be take me a little getting used to. I pretty much understand most of it, but if my voice is weird or if anything is off quality, anything like that, just let me know. It should be better. That was the reason I switched, but I've had to mess with a lot of settings. I'm doing it out of OBS and more complicated than what I was doing before. Um, but I actually just woke up like 45 minutes ago because I stayed up to trade London last night, which is something I've been telling myself I'm gonna do, and I'm glad I did because Euro. I mean, it's like easy mode compared to trading during New York. And I don't know, not always, but a lot of for the way I trade, um, I mean, it's super clean. I really could have held this long a lot longer. So we have a super clean classic buy day power of 3 setup. So if you look right here, this black bar down to the lower part of the screen, that's the Asia kill zone or the Asian range, so to speak. I wouldn't call it a kill zone, more like the Asian range is what I like to refer to it as. If you look, we can take the high and the low there. That's why I drew this fib. We have this range that accumulates. A bunch of people are looking to go short and long in this range. I think everybody thought we were going to break down, including myself, kind of, but I wasn't going to act off that. So I had stayed up a little late because I got this new PC. I was setting it up, and I was like, damn, it's already 1:30. I might as well stay up and trade London. So what I watched for, I just wanted to watch Euro and pound. The first thing I noticed whenever I'm looking at Euro and the pound is both of them had this similar accumulation. But if we look on the 4-hour, we had SMT divergence between cable and fiber. And cable is pound, fiber is Euro. So we had SMT divergence. So automatic, we have a bullish confluence there. So after we've established that we have SMT divergence, I watched the lower time frames for the Asian range to be manipulated with a sharp push out. And we've talked about this in the private classes in the server, and I'm sure some of you may be familiar with of these concepts, but we had a nice range right here develop. Sharp push out of it. So again, this is what we call a manipulation phase, or the bottom wick, so to speak, of the daily range. So we see this consolidation get manipulated. So then we look in this area for confirmation of a reversal. And I want to share this with you guys because I think a lot of people are really confused on Power of 3 because everybody just likes posting hindsight, just boxes and no executions. The way that I use it is as a narrative tool. So if the price manipulates the Asian range down to the downside, then I look for a break of structure to the upside because, again, we're just trying to confirm that smart money is buying up these stops. Now, if you're wondering what these standard deviations are, I like to use them for the kind of correlation with levels to where I think the low of the day could be, and also where I think targeting could be if we trade based off this. Now, it's never perfect. Like, for instance, the low of the day wasn't near the 2. I was wondering if it was going to go lower, take out that low, but it didn't, which was nice because that preserved that narrative of SMT divergence. And then once we started to expand back up on a 5-minute, it actually broke structure on a 15-minute maybe. No, it's just a 5-minute. Got that displacement break of structure. So what I went and did is one in the 1-minute, and I watched to see, where was the piece of order flow that actually really took this high. So if I'm looking at 5-minute, I could have just traded off of that, and I kind of wanted to target higher, and I just didn't. I'm not used to trading London, so I wanted to, you guys know me, I like low-hanging fruit. If I can get 5R off of little, small amount of pips, I'll do it. So I could have targeted this because if you look, the 100% extension to the upside of the Asian range matched up perfectly with this. I think it was actually a 15-minute. Yes, 15-minute order block, bearish order block. Now price went through that, went even higher, and we also had the 3 lining up with these equal highs in this imbalance, and a 4 lining up with this order block. So it wasn't really, to me, I was looking at it like, okay, well, there's a lot of correlations with the Asian range deviation. So I just decided I wanted to target this, and if I were to use the 5-minute to enter, if I just entered up this order block or this fair value gap, the risk to reward there would not have been great. So I hopped down to a 1-minute and targeted this order block, and if you see, price kind of came down under the lows, pushed up, and we halted, and then got that big push. Right, so we know there was institutional involvement right here. So once I set my limits, set stop under this, I gave myself a little bit of a grace period, like another half a pip. See, price tapped into it, got that sweep, and even on the lower time frames, like we were talking about yesterday, you know, you're always going to take out that low most of the time. Not always, I shouldn't say always, nothing is always, but anytime we have POIs, it's good to look for a tap and then a sweep. Even if you're on a 1-minute, you know, let's say if you're one of those guys that uses a 5-second, 15-second confirmation, you know, if you try to catch that first tap, you're almost always going to get stopped early, even if your bias is right. So I didn't take any profits. I literally just had to like look away because I had, if I was like, okay, well, you know, you're trading in a new environment, and if you know, you're going to be less confident, less consistent. So I just literally set my limits, set my take profit, and went to bed. So I woke up to this, and I was pretty fucking thrilled about that. So again, the breakdown narrative of the trade originally, the SMT divergence during the London session. Pound dollar. I shouldn't say SMT divergence during the London. SMT divergence in general, and I was watching it during the London session. Then the classic setup for London that I like when I backtest, and you guys may have heard me talk about how clean Euro is in the London session, is just this very simple manipulation of the Asian range and subsequent expansion. And this is trying to catch kind of like the bottom of the day and try to push the targets a little higher. I probably should have, because I could have been a lot better off, but it's okay. I'm just happy and thankful that it worked out. And you know, I'm glad that I didn't trim any till the end. Now, I wanted to start off by talking about that. Look at indices. So I think that price really likes these here. I think we did have some kind of, did we on NOS? Yeah, so and lately I will say with indices, there's a lot, and it's probably clear on a date. Like right there, that lower low. Then if you're drawing it from here, we did make a lower low. So SMT can be kind of selective. Some people would say that's not SMT. I wouldn't play it as SMT, but I do keep an eye on it, so to speak. But we've had a lot of divergence across all the three sisters, all three different stock indices. So I always kind of take that with a grain of salt. What I see more so here is this low, kind of just ominously hanging out down here. Formed an equal low, and now we've traveled back up above local buy-side liquidity on a lower time frame into the fair value gap. We'll probably move to the downside here. This actually looks pretty good right now for the downside, but I'm not going to trade because I already took that trade during London. Pretty good gains, so I'm not going to else. But those of you who are trading, I like you know, potential downside. This morning, I mean, we got a nice expansion up after taking these lows. There's always a chance we do move up. We really didn't move into a premium of this, so either way, I think it would be kind of lower probability. I think the better setup was early this morning after we took that low. That was early. Oh, so yeah, I probably wouldn't have taken much on indices personally. That may be a short after all this got cleared out, but like we got, I think Haas, you were talking about that. Got ran right here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I can see exactly what that sucks.
Is that you're looking for more downside, Casper?
Yeah, overall, I mean, I could see, like, I see both cases right now, so it's kind of like lower probability for me, because, like, look, we took the low, came rapidly out of it. So, you know, we could make a move to the upside because, you know, we really didn't move back up into this impulse swing. So, like, when I'm looking on the 4 hour, This is kind
I
of our
think
most
Nasdaq
recent.
looks a lot weaker.
Yeah. The thing is, sorry, excuse me. The only problem that I would have is just, I mean, and it's not set in stone. We have to move so efficiently, but look, like a lot of times when we get these expansions down that take liquidity and we leave these inefficiencies, we'll see one last run on stops before price starts to move back up into a premium. Now, I got really close. That's why I say this one's kind of like when I look at it and I'm like, I'm not extremely confident in it. But I mean, you do have high getting taken here. It's kind of shitty price action. Now we've came back down to premium of this impulse move. So, if you start to see the displacement to the upside, I wouldn't be extremely short. I'd be kind of waiting on that. But again, it's one of those where it's like it's lunch hour. I can see both ways.
I'm still holding my Nasdaq shorts from 12,017.
Oh yeah. Have you taken anything off them? I'd take something.
Well, I went pretty small, so I could just let the trade ride out.
True.
Because if I would have gone bigger, definitely, bro, I definitely would have trimmed already. But
That makes sense.
I still think we got a lot of downside, and I'm just letting my stops right at break even. So
That makes sense.
because I don't think it comes back up there at all, dude.
12,000 up in this region. I mean,
12,017. May retrace a bit, but the daily just looks terrible. That's really what my TA was on. Broke
ideally, if
below
you could
that,
get a
like
close below this, you'd be in good shape. But
exactly. That's exactly what I was looking at.
so we're coming down into these levels that I wanted us to coming down into fair value gap and order block. Now, preferably, I would want a little lower. Have tapped into a discount now on Nasdaq, so you never know. We're tapping into this breaker again. YM hasn't really come down that far. Yes, is not even in the fair value. Well, not taking out this low, so we're getting closer to those points where uh, where I would maybe want to see upside, but it's not there yet. Like we could get it because there's this breaker, there's this massive fair value gap, the order block. There's a lot of stuff that I still want to tap before I consider us going up higher. I think it could be a little slow burn because they're getting closer to Christmas. And I got missed on an ETH last night. Sad. I had alerts set for you guys. If we tapped into this candle right here, I wanted to trade it. Okay, I'm actually in front of my computer. I was transferring all my data to this computer, and if we come up in there and I get lower time frames, I'm gonna go into this low. Wow, I don't love it. But I think I saw you on crypto chat catch. No, I'm watching Litecoin too. So I will say I don't really like this because I had a alert set for this. I saw I got triggered. We'll go over there in a second. I'm not really a big fan of that. This seems kind of like caught up. So I'll watch this zone, but not the highest. I don't like that that shift right there. It's kind of lit grabby, and we also have these equal highs. Had a couple alerts go off. Yeah, gold. Oh, okay, gold actually might give a trade. Nothing yet though. See, that's what we were talking about yesterday. We had this range, and I wanted us to move into one of these zones first before we could trade to the other one. So now we've moved up into this 4-hour buy to sell region and this 4-hour fair value gap. So if the 15-minute can start to exhibit some bearish structure, then I'll look to get short. But nothing yet on the. We'll keep gold. Okay, looks like. I don't know why it says MSF. I said it wrong.
Hey, what about that
Oh, I got
USD
missed.
CAD trade you were talking about yesterday?
Which let me see.
The equal highs.
Oh yeah, no, that was just more like overall like bias. I wouldn't necessarily try to take a trade all the way into that. Fucking long ass ways. I mean, you could, I guess, if you want. That's just not really for me, my style. Like what I would like to see here. I mean, honestly, not there yet. I mean, you could watch this little zone. If you really wanted to be kind of more conservative, you could watch like this whole. I'd probably just watch this order block right there down to the low, because look at the daily. Monthly. Oh yeah, monthly breaker block right here. You could have used this, but I like this because it's full bodied. So monthly breaker block, we reclaimed it, tapped into it. Then we look at a weekly. We haven't gotten a shift yet, but if you want to be a little early, the daily definitely has. The daily is showing displacement upside, so it's showing a desire to move up, probably in towards this high as like more of a more local target. But you know, if I was going to do that, I would like to get some kind of trade off of this down here. I see this as like the last big push, but if you notice, we pushed up, kind of met some form of selling power right here. I'm not really sure what, maybe in this rejection block. And then we blasted through it. Now I came down and retested it. And if we look at the 15, we haven't really taken out any strong structure. So if we did take out some kind of structure with displacement, I mean, you could look for a long kind of frame around that. But I think it's riskier just because you're not in premium. And I like to, I mean, in discount. I like to trade from a discount. But it doesn't look bad here. But overall, like the reason I was looking at those, because if you look at the weekly, just these are ominous as fuck. And we look at this massive range. We came out and took the sell side. Now prices on it just been on a tear. Massive displacement up. So it's kind of if it gets back above this high with displacement, it'd be no question highs. And I still like the highs already, because just like, you know, look at it, it's like it's a nice little power of 3 almost. Like came out under the range, start push back into the range, you know, take the range highs. And you've also got monthly order block just above at $1.51. Probably what 24K. MC asked, do I look at SMT on all time frames or just as a narrative, a high time frame narrative builder? I like it on all time frames. I mean, as with anything, it has more value if it's found on a higher time frame, but I mean, I'll use SMT on a 1 minute sometimes there if I notice it, but it's not going to be my only confluent. Oil. Oh, okay, there we go. Nice. Well, it came right into our, when we were watching, fair value gap got clapped, but we were looking at this low overall just because we came back up in that weekly imbalance, pushed down. So oil is extremely bearish right now. If I had to guess, I mean, I would say the next stop is going to be this right here. I want to see what that looks like on tapping into find that friction block down there, higher order block you're tapping into. Could see some kind of a little bit of reversal, get up into this order block and start to see some structure, but you know, until then, bearish is so get a 4 hour. That was actually been super. Yeah, I mean, what I would do is I would wait to see if this range, or no, this zone fails. So like for instance, if we get into it and you look on a 1 hour, 4 hour, and you see like lackluster price action, it's not coming out of it, it's kind of creating liquidity, you know, I would start to look at short. But again, it's just waiting to see what you're kind of shorting the bottom, so to speak, if you're not careful. Mark session was busting too. Power zone. Doesn't like. I'm just not a big fan of this right here. Resistance run on liquidity. Look, we kind of came close to the zone, but we didn't tap into it. Over here we did. Swept those lows. I almost want to see these. I think I'll wait on this one. I could regret this, but reason being is like, yeah, we kind of displaced here. There's a lot of wicks we're kind of selling off. What I'll do is I'll set alerts down here on this order block, and if I'm around, I'll watch the 1 minute. If I start to see price action I like there, that's where I'll get active, but not super convinced because we tapped in and then we kind of failed to make that lower low. So these stops have still not been taken. Yet. And the SMT with E kind of makes this a little less valuable in my opinion, because I'm looking at it as we took out this low. I was looking at the zone as a potential area to get on a continuation, but if we look at E, it's not showing signs. Showing signs in my opinion. So I'll probably, as far as G. Crypto's at least finally in its own world, I guess. In terms that not getting affected as much by the market.
That's good.
Right? He's coming down to where I want to long it. Try to long it. Longed.
Bro, I should have paid attention to that 4-hour fair value gap on Bitcoin.
Oh, back when were we long from?
Where I signaled longs, yeah. I
I think
literally
you just
put.
tried to catch the bottom too much on that one.
Yeah, you see that first candle before the bottom,
Right.
the selling climax? Yeah, that candle right there, that's literally where
Yeah.
I entered and put stop losses.
I think one rule, like, you could make, I was just talking a second ago, like, in general, like, one rule that helped me a lot is, like, let's say if you have any zone, whether it's, like, liquidity pool, fair value gap, or an order block, or whatever, like, a good rule that has helped me a lot is, like, make it not valid to you unless it gets swept. You know what I mean? So, like, for instance, this was the first tap of, like, this order block or any of this down here, fair value gap. Like, here, just always assume this is going to be swept, because it almost always, sometimes it doesn't, but what I like about it is, like, it comes to, like, my area, like, this is where I'm
Wait, did you just say assume that the first tap will get swept?
Yeah.
Bro, I literally discovered that, like, this morning.
Yeah, it's a really good rule. Like, so, like, for instance, any POI tap, like, make the first one, like, that's like, okay, now my eyes are open.
Those are the
like,
early buyers and sellers.
Yeah,
People who
exactly.
play limits and shit and put stop losses at the low of the zone.
Yeah.
That's how a zone gets manipulated.
Exactly, because a lot of times, like, trying to play, like, order blocks and stuff, that's why I like waiting for, like, using liquidity, because, you know, it's really easy to just get, it's like, this zone was like, this looked good as fuck to me. I was like, okay, that's fire.
Yeah, dude, I literally went long there because I thought we like manipulated the zone. Like
Yeah, because we did. I mean, right here,
that's what I'm saying. Like I entered on the manipulation of the zone. Like I entered in that wick, like that went through the zone. So I thought
Yeah.
that would be the bottom, but then the manipulation got manipulated.
Yeah, I just set, the reason I set, like, such wide limits on this was because I looked at it and I was like, okay, this is where Bitcoin does that fuck shit, like, exactly like this, where it's like, you don't know if it's gonna go here or here, and I just set my limits on the order block, but I put my stops under that last fair value gap candle. I was like, okay, if we go under that, we're going for this. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, I can get a decently tight stop. Not really tight, you know, but for the play. and then here. But I think it's gonna come back down Playboy's POI for sure. Like this looks good to me.
Yeah, the little the little M that we're putting in now is basically buy side liquidity grabbing everything from November 14th.
Yeah.
So that looks more like redistribution than it is accumulation. So I think what we're gonna end up doing is we're gonna have like a terminal shakeout. So basically a 1 hour, like a 4 hour, are gonna basically form an inverse head and shoulders.
Gotcha. Just realized somebody said MC said FY audio is a little spotty on YouTube. Shouldn't be. I thought because somebody said it was better. Somebody let me have like 3 takes on it because I mean I want to make sure it's fixed because I'm on this new streaming. I'm on Streamlabs if anybody knows what that is. I actually have like 3 things on my. I can turn my suppression level down and shit. Hold on. Does that make it louder or? Oh. Never mind. That might help because I'm outside it on low quality mode. I don't know if that does or not. Do mic monitoring too. I don't know why I always.
But here, look at what I added you. This is a visualization.
I don't know why anonymous. You're not actually adding me. I just now saw these. I'll look at that 1 second, Jay. I've been waiting on me for a minute. Like the ETH short yesterday at 1265 something, closed at 100% of this morning's raid. Still in the Bitcoin shorts though. I planned on taking 100% on the ETH short. Cool, nice. Short BNB 292. Fucking top wick sniper. I think it looks good. I think overall, like, even continuously watch something like this, getting more down into a range. I actually set an alert because I like the way BNB trades a lot. I'm gonna look at that right now, Jay. Where'd you tag me at it?
Oh, crypto chat.
I did change my Discord.
I think we'll actually like absorb that whole demand zone now,
Yeah.
and then introduce new demand. If you go into the daily, I'm looking at like the high time frame daily right now. That would basically put in like a 3 drives on the daily.
Yeah. No, that was one thing that I did notice is that.
Starting from that original big drop. Uh, let me see. Um, wait, the daily. Yeah, so the drop on June 19th.
The thing that's funny, dude, the weekly and the fucking uh monthly just scream 13K to me overall.
Does my chart go that low? Oh no, it goes to 14.7. But yeah, all of that sideways action that we had would just be a liquidity buildup. Which explains why it took so long, because there's literally no liquidity in Bitcoin right now. Or crypto.
The way I always look at it is like I always just look at like the daily impulse structure as kind of like my framework, and until that changes, like I try to not like think it's gonna change. You know what I mean? Because I feel like it just for me it fucks my psychology up when I do that. Like for instance, like here, I'm looking, I'm like, okay, well the daily external structure is obviously bearish as fuck, right?
Yeah, and that
So
doesn't look like a break of structure to the upside either. It literally just looks like buy side liquidity grab.
well, it depends what highs you use. One could
No-
say like this right here for sure, and that looks like you're using the left or right structure that and all that uses, but like using like a little more aggressive, just like ICT structure, it definitely closed above that. But I wouldn't have necessarily be as eager to long off this as where I originally
Yeah, I
put
would.
her long.
Yeah, that's where the double market structure rate comes in.
Yeah.
So that's why, yeah, I definitely think we're probably gonna continue to the downside.
I want ETH to, like, the thing about ETH that would be nice if that happened is if we could take all these fucking lows. I want to trade ETH again that much, like as far as from like a swing perspective, because
Does that also look like a 3 drives?
like a fucking smorgasbord of equal lows, and like equal highs here. It's like, dude, math.
Well, it looks like nothing like Bitcoin.
Yeah, I know, right? Litecoin's looking crazy too. XMR,
I
I
think
wanted
I've
to.
heard I think I've heard a lot of good things about Litecoin.
Yeah, Mang likes to trade it a lot.
Like I think Litecoin like
What other coins I should look at? I took a lot off my watch list. Trading view. Well, let's take a look at Link. Take a look at Cash. And let's just take a good look at Gas XRP.
oh, NQ's back at lows. We had a fucking mid lunch dump, that would be sick. Does that ever happen? Like
Oh,
will
hell
it
yeah.
will it be like the intended move
Hell
too?
yeah.
Like
I've
it won't
missed a
be like
bunch
a
of
false
them.
break?
Missed a
Oh.
bunch of them. Oh, fucking yeah. Fucking moves will happen at lunch while I'm on stream. Leave me. Loves to do that.
Just triggered your like PTSD or something.
It literally, I can show you multiple times where it's happened. There was one where I was like, wow. Would have been like a fucking heck, bro. I don't even know. I think it was actually at here. I'm not even kidding. I think like where there was SMT on yes, and NASDAQ. While back. Don't waste too much time on that. Fucker, I think it's taking my crosshair. Our trading view is fucking broken.
Pretty sure it's time.
Okay, yeah, I'm an idiot. You're right. Fucking trading view. It was there 30. Yeah, it was literally right here. I swear to God, watch. I can remember it. My PTSD is real. Look at that. So it was like right there. No, that wasn't it, actually. That's not it. But it was a similar thing. It was like an SMT during lunch play. Where the fuck it's at? It was this very similar price action to that. I don't think. But it was basically like a similar price action to this, and it was like a 5-minute break structure. And I was on lunch, and we were like watching it, and I was like, yep, or maybe it was this. I don't know. But I was like, yep, it's lunchtime, so I'm not going to trade that. We'll come back to it later, and it was been like a fucking like 10-hour play.
Damn.
Fuck, bro. Arcana. Harley.
Yeah, has ES already taken the loose?
Oh.
Since I've been in stock chat lately, I've been I forget who's mentioning it to me, but like it'll mention how like I'll be looking at NQ that hasn't like taken lows yet, but ES and like SPY already have.
SMT.
So that's what SMT divergence is.
Yeah, so like you can use it with like, it's kind of like, I've seen people use it a lot of different ways. The way that ICT most part is like just like most recent swing and high. It doesn't have to be like strong lows and highs. But you can also use it like, because it's kind of fractals. Like for instance, like this, like on a 4-hour, like I can see this, and it's like, yeah, it's not theoretical on a 4-hour, but if I go to a daily, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like most recent pivot point. It works good on like the daily. 4 hour and like 15-minute and 1 hour. That's like the best. But I mean, I'll use it in like a 1 minute sometimes. Like to this morning or early this morning and London session with EU and cable, it was fucking clean.
I'm saying, what does it tell you?
That it's likely manipulations. Like for instance, if I'm looking at two assets that are correlated, or
Yeah.
like say if you can use it with DXY too, but you have to use like an inverse way. Like if I see like euro and pound's making a lower low and euro's not, I know that that's probably that lower low is probably manipulation. You want to pair it with other stuff. Like it can easily fuck you if you try to just use it. But like for instance, like here, okay, the euro or the pound made a lower low in the 4 hour, euro didn't. So then I was like, okay, well on top of that, got power of three going with standard deviations matching up with liquidity and POIs. Flush out the Asian range, turn back, power of 3. I could have taken it away. That's like how I would use it. I wouldn't use it like, oh, just SMT, I'm along. Like some people are ballsy with it, but like for instance, and I was like, I did like an SMT turtle soup last week, and that was the best trade I've had on my funded, like, literally the best overall. Like, but it was on Dow. That was right here. So I'm trying to put on US 30. Yeah. So basically, like after we'd had SMT in the higher time frames, I did a turtle soup buy. So basically, I just set limits at the liquidity and then used 20 pip stop loss. It actually worked. I need to test this more because I was testing it on a Forex replay. But that shit's fire. I think that would maybe what you should do, Jail, is like use you can have 1 minute data all the way back to 2016. You can basically, the way it works is like, let's say if I was back testing right now, like, and I want to be like, oh, I want a long here for whatever reason. You literally put a long tool right here for whatever you're doing, and it will literally, like, you hit place position and it like opens a position based off the long tool, and then it will like record over however much time you want, like it's like if it was a profitable trade or not.
That shit's fucking amazing. I love it.
It's so awesome, bro. Like it is so fucking awesome. Oh, sorry, Aspect. What is thoughts on? Oh, my bad, bro. I just realized I didn't. Thoughts on Bitcoin and ETH? What alts do I have on my radar currently? With yesterday's video, I only saw your setup for BTC and BNB. So I'm not really. I was watching Litecoin, but I will say I'm not as interested in it just because this wasn't. That's kind of like looks a bit grabby to me. Like I saw we kind of took this low. That's not really what I want to see. I want to see a hold that displacement, or I think we're going to come up and grab like above this. So I'll watch the zone. If I see some massive displacement out of on the lower time frames, that's short. But ideally, I like these equal highs. That could get preserved for later, but it's getting to that point where it's not a super clear setup to me. ETH, I actually like this right here. So what I'll do is massive order block. I'll keep an eye on this. And I want to start trading crypto with you guys more. I've kind of just been collecting the coins because I really don't like trading like a lot of the intraday time frames on crypto, but I start watching it more. But here I see a lot of liquidity above. This could be getting preserved for later. We have these lows down here. So if we look at the immediate displacement structure, we've got boom to the downside. We took this out, which I not immediately. I originally wanted to short to from this area, but we never tapped into it. So now I'll watch both zones. You know, if we get a push up into here, sweep into that zone during session, and move to the downside, I'll look to short down towards this low down here, probably this low, imbalances. My current plan, I would just wait. Sorry, excuse me. I would just wait until we get to this before I would really mess with Bitcoin at all. And once we get there, I would watch lower time frames to see how it would how it reacts to it. And then BNB, I think we're moving down towards this daily order block at a minimum. 3 down close candles that took liquidity. This was also took all these equal lows. It's traveled into an old order block. I mean, it's a very clean range as far as institutional involvement goes, if you ask me. But once we take liquidity like that and expand, that tells me some more money was buying it up. So I think we'll come back down to this zone to mitigate. It's also in a discount. You could look to trade, 4-hour or 15-minute down into that range, but I would look for lower pricing. Also, DXY, we haven't even looked at it. Super clean reaction off that first zone we had drawn, the daily imbalance or volume imbalance. That was kind of like the low-hanging fruit. So we hit one target. I think we could still go higher. We do have a very clean weekly imbalance right there. So something to keep an eye on, but came up here. 4-hour came down and took this low, but it's not really holding it. We're at a pivotal point right now. If DXY starts to continue up and it fails to hold this displacement down, and it shows more desire to go higher, then I would look for more downside on equities, on crypto, on the dollar-denominated Forex pairs. Oh, Hunter, you did audio engineering? Dope. Audio crystal clear. Threshold low on compression and turn it up a little. Like that. Up, I can actually. Like 8. Turn it down. -8. Turn it to like. Does that help or does that make it worse? Never know. Sorry. Next micro times. Yeah. See, like this is a good example too. Or Jay, are you still in here?
Yeah.
Like this right here, it's like okay, like we come up and we kind of tap the zone if you hadn't refined it, because I refined it a little bit. Push right here, and then it gets like, probably not the cleanest price action to make you want to short, but now it's came up and really taken that liquidity, and I almost want to go up and take it again. But that's a good example of waiting for a tap. And also dollar Swissy. This right here. So it tapped into the zone I wanted to trade. We got this nice push out. We came down here, we took liquidity from over here. Up a little bit and then really pushed up. So I was like, okay, I'll watch this zone. Not the cleanest because it's right here. But it price just showed the desire to go up. Also, after taking this daily low again, so we take a low, took another low. But we tapped it once right there, and then it came down and swept all that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Shit like that I always see. It always fucking happens. Dollar cat. And also another thing too is do you know like high resistance and low resistance runs on liquidity? It's probably something in Wyckoff too. I had to get. Have you
No.
heard? So it's
But
like
I know what they look like.
okay.
Yeah.
It's basically just like like you want to watch for the fuckers what you want, because a lot of times this is gonna get taken. It's also really good for like targeting on the daily. So that was like the big reason I was bullish for a while there on indices was we had so many of those. We kind of still do. Of take liquidity here. We didn't take the liquidity again. Right? Way back in August. We took the liquidity. We really didn't have much of a, not the cleanest. Like another great example is like right here. This is nice. Like had that high resistance run on the stops from 17. And if we look at YM, wait, actually, was it? Yeah, see, look right here. Took the stops down here, and then we kind of just failed to make that lower low. So we had that SMT with everything else, but that usually can get targeted later on. I got fucking cucked on a dollar yen short last night, bro. This chart was am I on? I guess I didn't chart it. Where I charted it, but it was like literally I shorted off of so weird. I swear I had it charted. I have a picture. Guess not. But was right here. Fucking cucked like a dumbass. And I knew I kind of like knew I shouldn't do it. Look at this. So it was basically after we took this liquidity over here, and it was just really with the DXYTA. Like I just shorted from like right here. I think right there. Like a stop right here, bro. Like what a fucking retard. How the fuck did I do? I don't know why I did not. And every time I do that, bro, I should learn because like I always say, oh, I like using the highest high of the liquid, but fucking idiot. Right, no, right here. Like, bruh, get fucked.
Wow.
But it was okay. I woke up to that and then the Euro play. So I was like, whatever.
Oh,
so
dude,
clean,
guess
bro.
what?
That.
Dude, I passed already.
I thought, yeah, hell yeah. I thought you did. You just had the days, right, to wait, or you
No,
haven't passed the stage two.
no. I passed today too, like phase 2. I started
Fuck
phase
yeah,
2
bro.
at 6 p.m. yesterday.
Fuck. Oh, I think I saw something like Nah shorts or not.
Yeah. It was dude,
That's
it was
not
like
so
around
good.
1 a.m. or 11 p.m.
Hey, congrats,
I
bro.
took them during Tokyo. I took entry during Tokyo. It was like a fucking quick like 90 pip play.
Oh yeah, bro.
So yeah, now I gotta just open 0.01 lots for the next 9 days, and then I'll have the fund to the end.
Yeah, bro.
We got a fucking payout this time.
You're definitely going.
Dude, my trading has been so fucking like different since I've done like the psychology work. Or since I've been working on like my psychology like game
That's
and
everything,
stuff.
bro. Like that. So literally that video I put out yesterday, I was talking about that. It's like, bro, the thing that's good about Sarnia Concepts is it can get you, or Wyckoff or ICT, whatever, just price action trading, whatever different fucking school of thought it is. It's all very similar. So you're using price action, you're trying to be extremely precise. It's all this like complicated shit about like, you know, what banks are doing, everything, and it's like it does work, but like what it does a lot of times is it will like inspire this like perfectionist mentality, and then it's almost worse off to have that in your hand than before you had it for a short amount of time. So like you'll go through a period where like you don't know it, then you learn it, and then you get like that beginner's luck and you get that euphoria because it's like, bro, I fucking got the key. I got the I just cracked the fucking Da Vinci code to trading. Then like the psychology starts to kick in whenever you have that first slump, and then you're like, maybe I don't understand it. You start looking up different things and you start changing your styles, and then it's just like a death spiral. And that happens to a lot of SMC traders because there's people out here like, I hate to say it, but like ICT and then like a lot of other influencers that like kind of like impose a perfection persona, like that's their brand and that's their character, and that's like, yeah, it's cool, and some people will argue and say it gives people something to look up to, but what I think it does is it gives people a false image and like kind of like gives them problems whenever they're like they're not that, because that's not, not everybody is like that, and you can get to that point. I'm not saying you can't, but like it's just it's not common, so to speak, to be a perfect first year trading, and I think a lot of traders get on like a death spiral because of that.
Yeah, I think something similar like that happened to me.
Yeah, it happened to me at one point.
That's exactly what happened to me.
Yeah,
That's
it's I swear to God, because it's like the cycle, like you don't ever hear like okay, ICT talks about trading psychology sometimes, but most of the influencers or something, if they do talk about it, yeah, it's very short lived. It's like, okay, yeah, here's trading psychology. Don't be afraid to lose. All right, on to the order block. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Dude, MentFX had a really good video on psychology. I don't. You said you don't. You said you don't watch him at all. Do you?
I don't watch it I just don't, because it's like,
I will send you this video. You have to at least watch this
yeah,
one.
no, I'll watch a video. It's not like I'm like fuck MentFX, but like I respect I respect what he's built and stuff, but like a lot of it is just ICT spinoff, and like I've learned it from ICT, so it would confuse me to try to learn it a different way.
He
But
kind of does what you do. He
he
kind
kinda
of simplifies it in a way.
yeah, no, I know,
Because
but it's
three
just like
box method is like so clean.
it's like a different way than I've learned. So like for me, one thing, and I always tell people this too, like if you're like doing good, like stop watching shit, bro. Because like so there was a period where I had learned SMC and I learned a little bit of ICT and I learned like basic SMC and I was actually doing very well, right? It's a long time ago, like way back, but I mean, not like 10 years ago or some shit, obviously, but you get what I'm saying. Like, where I went through like, okay, you know this, then you start getting the more advanced shit and you start fucking up and you start hitting a slump. So it's like you have to you have to go through that to level your game up. But like once you're to a point where you're making good money, like just stop watching shit. Work on your psychology and start backtesting your strategies. Like you don't have to like every time you learn something new, it throws a curveball into your trading.
Yeah.
Literally does. And it can cause a lot of psychological, especially if you're like trying to get funded or have a funded, like Jesus, just bro, like just do what you do and like back test it. That's where it's like it's not time to learn more, it's time to refine shit and time to like get data on it. You know, and build confidence in what you already know.
That's literally what my issue was.
Yeah.
Because I like every time like I don't know, when I started losing, I started thinking it was something wrong with my style.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then
And you start like beating
and
up on
then
yourself and losing confidence and taking trades too early or
it's
FOMOing.
a very bad death spiral. It's so bad.
Yeah, bro. And
But
then it's like you remember you're like, oh wait, I do know how to trade. Like fuck this fucking bullshit narrative. Like I know how to trade, you know?
yeah, like what Flo taught me or that he learned like from Ment is when traders like start to fail, they'll try and change up their style, and it just turns out, they were either like they were overconfident and they were making discipline errors and like bad psychology,
Yeah.
like psychological decisions.
Oh, for sure, bro.
Definitely happened with me before too, Casper, where like learning something new like kind of messes you up. Like the most profitable and green streak I had was actually just trading like basic photon order blocks.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and it's just the psychology behind it, because it's like you learned it, you got it, and then it was like, okay, pretty easy. And then it's like you start realizing, like, okay, well, I can take this another level. I can get even more trades. You know what I mean? And then it's like go down that path where you're like, fuck, bro, like, fuck this shit. Like, it's funny because like I know like the first time I watched ICT, like long time ago, like before like any of the new shit, like just before before he was even back on social media and all that shit. And I watched it and I was like, I watched it and then I quit watching it because I was like, this is fucking scary. And then I watched it again and then I was like, okay, like obviously it's fire. Stay buckled down. And then I just started like getting determined. But I went through like a little slump, like, but I didn't. It's not like it was like a horrible slump. It was where I was like, I didn't want to take trades sometimes. Like I think there was trades that I like should take. I know that what works, and I just didn't take them because I was like, oh no. You know what I mean? But I think that the main thing
Yeah,
is learning to combine ICT with other shit. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's that's kind of like the secret sauce, is like learning like to take what is executable, because I think we all know that a lot of ICT stuff is extreme. It's like trying to like learn calculus of trading in a way, and a lot of it's really, in my opinion, it's beneficial but not necessary. And you got to remember that that mentorship was originally sold for a lot of money. A lot of people don't know that, like a lot of money. Like back when it was, that's why a lot of the charter members get angry that it's for free now. But and there has to be so much information whenever someone pays that amount of money. So you got to understand, like, the dude it was his business. You know what I mean? Like, not every single last thing and drop of, like a lot of those videos could be simplified a lot. But and don't get me wrong, somebody's gonna be like, oh, he said it was too, like, I'm not saying it's not awesome, but I am saying that it can give you paralysis by analysis if you let it. This actually, this is like a very fucking clean. I'm actually gonna make a fucking infographic of this today. I told people I would. But this is a very clean buy day template. So like, for instance, like the classic buy day template. Like, you want to see something like this, like we have a consolidation. This is the Asian range, which we have right here. Flush out, taking liquidity. Push up into areas of liquidity correlating with standard deviations of the Asian range. If you look at this is the monthly order block. I've never really used these. Like, this is an old level. Like, just watch how old levels are respected. So this this 105, just that monthly order block right here. We've already tapped into it multiple times over here. Like, look how it's still respected. Like, so we took the previous daily high, right? Because that's always going to be a liquidity pool, into an imbalance. It's going to be a higher time frame imbalance in the 1 hour and a 1 hour breaker. This actually was the best move, 1 hour breaker. I slept on that. Goddamn, I could have had a fucking check. Okay. FOMO demons kick in for a second there. I took them all at here, bro. But classic buy day template, literally, like, is power of 3. I mean, it's like as clear as it could be. So, again, just accumulation, manipulation, distribution. Right.
Where'd you say you was gonna go? Like, where'd you think on the high time frame? Like, where do you think it's gonna head next? Was it
If I look
down
at the
or?
higher time frame on Euro, like 4 hour tells me overall up. I won't even lie, but it's not like very clear. So like, I don't like this. We didn't really leave any
Yeah.
kind of fair value gap, but we did take the high right here, and then we never took this, and then we had that bullish divergence with cable. So
Yeah.
what I want to see, Euro, is if I'm going to look to get active on any kind of swings, I want to either see a break of this low or a break of this high. And then that's really where I'm at with, as far as like a confident high time direction. If I had to lean anywhere, I would say down.
Yeah, I agree. I think the target's 1.042, or yeah, 1.042. I think
Yeah.
that's the next.
Yeah, no, I like that. Like, that's where I'd have to lean. Like, because and also if we look, this week's kind of been choppy. So like Monday, we didn't really have like crazy. I mean, we actually no, we did actually want. Euro did make a dump. We took a dump on Monday, kind of pushed up back above the weekly open on Tuesday. Kind of weird here. I mean, like, weekly power of 3, or not Tuesday, I'm sorry, Wednesday. Weekly power of 3. I mean, you'd almost want to see up higher. So like, if we're talking about the weekly power of 3, we had this accumulation on Monday, dip down below it, and then we clock down and dip down below that. So it's similar to like this same model, right? Consolidation down. So weekly power of 3 would have us going up, to be quite honest.
Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying.
And like
Okay,
if I
okay.
wanted to do this, so what I'm gonna watch, I'm actually gonna watch for this. I'm gonna hide this. All right. So I would watch this order block right. So reason is it's OTE of the candle bodies on a 1 hour of the expansion that caused us to break structure with displacement and come back above the weekly open. This is like, here's some advanced ICTs. It's like month 5, I think, or month 7. I can't remember. It's the one shot, one kill. But so what you would look for is a push down into OTE to some kind of point of interest, and then you'd look for an expansion like to go like higher than like Monday's highs. Not actually a bad idea to take a trade off that. You know what? I think I'm gonna
You know, the only thing is I don't like how. Let me make sure I'm not messing up. But it's Asia got taken by Frankfurt, but Frankfurt usually I like it being taken out, but it wasn't yesterday. So that's the only thing. Yesterday's Frankfurt liquidity down there wasn't taken out. That's the only
which
thing
day?
like last night's Frankfurt liquidity. Yeah, that usually it gets taken out. Like I like when it gets taken out nice and easy.
Yeah. Anytime from 2 to 5 for me is free game for low of day, but I like whenever you get that run.
Yeah, it's so much easier to trade like when Asia induces something and then you can buy off something under. It's super clear usually for me. But yeah, that's the only thing I'm wary of playing that.
Actually, it's
Yo,
good.
what's good, my boy? What you eyeing?
Euro USD.
Yo, US 30 had a similar setup like that, right? Like, well, earlier.
Like
It played out already.
yeah, I like this, the weekly power of 3. So it's like, if I look at this, it's like,
Damn, I
there's
feel bad for
Monday.
anyone that trades stocks.
Just like
Yeah,
actual
just
like
started Bitcoin.
you mean like options?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
No, I'm just looking at NQ, dude. Like when they have like these sideways choppy days where you literally like can't make any money.
Yeah, it's never fun.
But then you got us fucking swing trading
You
indices.
speak too soon, I'll get stopped. I'm just kidding.
Swing trading indices in EU 24/7. Never got to worry about
I
the
don't
day
swing
opening up.
indices too often, but Forex and shit and crypto.
Dude, I've been fucking killing indices with swing trading.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's just I'm not saying there's anything. It's just like not really my style.
Oh no. I was just saying you can do
You
it.
can definitely
I
do
know
it,
because
for
a lot of
sure.
people have. Well, Algo has like been saying to me for a while that like you can't do it. I was like, no,
You
I'm
definitely
gonna do it.
can. It's harder to do unless you get like. I think it's best if you swing him. I think it's best to like wait for like the fucking eco, really high time frame reversal points, and then like really swing those motherfuckers. But like,
Yeah, that's what I
I
did with
think that's what
mine
my
with my
current
last
style
trade.
is because I'm using the 4-hour daily chart. So basically, all I do is like I said, I do what you basically teach. Is I build a high time frame like point of interest where I think price wants to go, and then I
and
just take
draw.
lower time frame trades off of it. Yeah, just where the draw is, and just understanding where I believe the draw is. If I'm right, I just take trades
Yeah.
off like the 1 hour and the 15 minute.
That's what I actually did that with my NAS short for that awesome ass entry I got. I actually just added more to my short on that little pump.
Yo, Casper, people, what I added you in the chat. US 30 played that. That shit was smooth. That's why when I peeped the Euro, it's just looking the same. Sheesh. I gotta
What
get
do you
my
think
Christmas
though,
shopping going
Casper?
for the shorty.
Right. Well, what'd you say?
I said, what do you think
Fancy.
though? I like the two rejections we had this morning, and then on that little pump, like on that weak little pump, I added some more shorts so I could swing. Like I had averaged into my position that was at 12,070 or 17.
Oh shit, we got basically the same entry.
Yeah,
Well, you
literally.
caught that shit on Thursday then?
Friday.
Oh,
Or
Where's
wait,
this?
was it Thursday?
it was probably. Well, I got in at 75. It was before
Yeah,
the
so
CPI drop.
okay, yeah, I got in on that CPI pump when it pumped
On the
back up, or
pump.
the news, the
Oh.
NFT news.
Oh, I see.
Right. Won't let me copy. My girl's laptop does this. I was trying to copy the fucking picture, like copy it from Discord, like on my Discord, so I can.
Yeah, I just really don't like the two rejections we had this morning. And this thing's looking pretty
We
big.
haven't officially tapped OTE on it, so we could have like one more like after hour like lunch pump up and then reverse from there.
All I did here
Basically
was
take
I
out
added
all
more
of the
That's what
investment
highs
I'm
of the
stop
thinking,
loss.
day.
JL.
Yeah, literally take out all of the highs of the day and then reverse and come back down.
Oh, there's that video. I'll watch it later.
What makes you
I
believe
was looking at 11,660 as like a breakout point. That's where I put my stop loss.
Tag me.
660. Oh, you're
Alright,
chilling with
early
that
night.
stop loss then.
Okay.
I don't know if I look at
Added
market
10 loss,
structure.
so even if it goes to there, I'll still make money off this trade.
That's
If I
actually
look at
very
market
similar.
structure, we had this I don't know, we came up to this point over here and then we just kind of started putting in like an M over it.
This shit's similar for
We
sure.
took out all of this buy side liquidity here, here. And then this would be your swing point.
Bro, this new PC is fucking. It's so crazy the jump. So like, just to give you an idea of like the different side. So my old PC was an i7 with a 1660 Ti and 16 gigs of RAM. And this new PC I got is a fucking i9 24 core, like the best one you can get other than the AMD Threadripper, with a fucking 3080, then 32 gigs RAM with 6,000 megahertz. It's like, bro, and I have the 240 hertz monitor. Like charting is so like it looks so fucking amazing.
Oh, dude, I can't wait till I fucking upgrade my setup.
It is fucking incredible. Okay, my bad. Let me look. So, thinking about the new things. Wait, hold on. Wait. Oh, yeah, no, I know you meant. I thought you meant my fucking sound, Hunter. I was like, damn. No, you meant the psychology stuff. Yeah, nah, man, it really is. Like, it's such a learning curve. Like, whenever you start to trade new things, you gotta like find a strategy, and like once you have it somewhat profitable, instead of trying to learn a new strategy, just like go and spend that time you're gonna spend watching videos and painfully, having problems. Just go like refine that. Like, I'm actually gonna do a video. I need to just make it on crap booming. I'm just
My
kidding.
fault, yo, my fault.
No, I'm just kidding. No, you're good. But the I'm gonna make a video on this software that I use because it's super dope. Oh, we might even do it live. I don't know. We could do like a live back testing session, maybe. Fun. And Dicey's do. Well, there was SMT. I knew I wasn't crazy. There was SMT against the Dow. I was like, dude, I know I fucking saw something earlier. That's what I won the 15.
Positive or bearish
It'd
or
be
bullish
bullish.
divergence?
Oh,
I think he was going
fancy.
to the moon.
Here, fancy. That's what I was saying. That's what I think. That's what we might do. For the rest of the day, possibly.
I think you could definitely
Potentially.
come up to like 11,780. I think player said that. That was on. Yeah, 11. Yeah, or no, monthly 11,7. Oh, he's talking about Bitcoin.
I want death.
I could see 11,780 to be honest, just because like the rate, like so, like we have the SMT, and also on the 15-minute too, and also like you came down, took that, you made it equal lows right there, ran the lows, right? Usually when you have these pulses like the take structure like that, or like this, and then you have a big fair value gap, you always see like this price action. This is actually really early ICT stuff too. So like let's say you have these massive fair value gaps. And really it's gonna be like looked at like a liquidity void. So then you kind of like will consolidate, or I should run this farther. Like let's say your fair value gap's up here, and you're not just gonna like stop and like it's kind of like the same ideology as not trading the first tap of a POI. You're not just gonna do this. Yeah, like it's not gonna be that easy. It's gonna be something like this. Then it's gonna take all that, and then that is where start to try to long up into, and this is really the ICT 2022 mentorship entry, but it's just a more complicated explanation. It's just once you expand and you create that void or create that imbalance and take liquidity, you're gonna get that second run, and that's what the the reversal pattern is. And you can use it on any time frame. If you look at a 5-minute, it kind of did give it right here pretty clean. Have like that right there, push up, trade back down here, took that liquidity there. Now showing upside. That's kind of what I was saying before. First, I looked at this and I was like, "Oh, that looks like a good short on ES." Right in here, and I was like, "I don't know
Yeah.
if I would." I mean, you're probably good where you're at, but
I just really don't like those two rejections from this morning. Like, it tried to push above that breakout point twice and failed. I mean, we could go for a third test and
like hit this right here.
break through. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason I think it failed is because it took out all these highs. Or did it even take them? Nope, it did. Barely did. But, like it took those highs, and then you had like the overall entry model I like to use. Took the low and came up to a premium of that impulse move. So you something like this. Traded from that, and then never really took the weekend. That would have been a bad day. Took this, I mean, you could have targeted that. But it's showing upside, in my opinion, right now. 11.7 wouldn't be a terrible idea. And also, another thing to think about too, when we talked about on Monday or yesterday's stream, was the targets on DXY. Like these are higher, longer targets, and this is why I like low hanging fruit, because the shit that people think aren't not gonna reverse. Like I was even like, I don't know, I think it might go higher, but you still want to keep that in mind. And then now it looks like we want to hold displacement. So if that is the case, 1 hour we already have, right? So like if we count the daily thing, the 1 hour shifts down, that would lead to a little bit of a bearish narrative for DXY. If we look at the monthly levels, this is why I really like these. A monthly order block, you have a weekly fair value gap sitting right on it, like right there. Also, you have another weekly block right there. You could see lower pricing on DXY. Because if we
Yeah, but even with DXY dumping recently, we've been seeing like negative correlate or negative correlation. But you know what I mean? It hasn't been running with indices like you'd think it would.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's been pretty. It's not like I know you're saying sometimes it's not, but like, why does this look? I was not. It's
The
definitely
indices
not
were
as
dumping
much.
and yeah, because it
Well, I
was
don't know
dumping
actually.
and DXY was just down like 0.50% on the day the other day, and we were down a couple percent, which was really surprising to me.
Yeah, sometimes that'll happen. That's a good term. That's a good way to look for manipulation. A lot of times too, if that
Yeah.
happens, you can have SMT here. So like for instance, like let's say if DXY was making a lower low right here, it also had a lower low here, or if DXI was not making a higher high while you were making a lower low. That's the way I see T. But it's all it is to determine is like manipulation. Is this a genuine move? Is this normal? Because if it's normal, your inverse should move inversely. If it's not moving inversely, there's probably manipulation.
The only thing making me think like people are getting better entries on USD pairs for CPI next week. Plus, we got unemployment claims tomorrow and PPI on Friday.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. Like this could just be that chop day where everybody's just making their decision and getting better entries.
Yeah. We have news
We'll see
tomorrow.
though.
Oh, wait, it's
Yeah.
fucking Friday.
Friday.
Friday NFP.
Yeah, we have no news until Friday.
Well, we got unemployment claims tomorrow, but that's only an
Oh, that.
orange folder. But that could easily send us down if
That's only
I
an
mean, seeing
orange
how
folder.
NFP was last week and all those employment claims last week, I think if we see a bad unemployment claim tomorrow, it's gonna really hurt indices. Because that'll just determine like, hey, like they're gonna have to raise rates higher, they're gonna have to do a lot more stuff.
Well,
You
if
think so?
if unemployment's bad, that means that they'll be less aggressive to raise rates, because if unemployment's bad, it's because companies are having to lay people off due to money being more expensive. So, bad unemployment is actually in long term bullish for as far as a interest rate perspective.
Well, I just mean the numbers. I don't mean like bad unemployment. Yeah, there's bad unemployment for sure. I mean like
Shit,
just the
I don't
numbers wise.
I don't trust anything that's not a red folder.
Yeah,
I mean,
feel you.
unemployment's a good gauge for like, here, actually, let's pump up. Let's do some shit. So, take the 5-year T notes and look at the value of USDX. So look, what we want to see here is some form of divergence. Have it better. Wait, actually. Higher high. This should. Yeah, actually, there's. So, I don't know if I would consider that or not. We are really close to the quarterly shift. On market. I'll look. Last time we.
What is USDX? I mean, I know it's US dollar,
DXY.
but
It's just a
like,
different chart for DXY.
what's different about it?
I really couldn't tell you. It's just a different feed. US dollar index and there's XY, but I just use it because I don't have as much chart. this is the last time, whenever everybody thought that, or not everybody thought, I shouldn't say, I think everybody thought the interest rates were going to get increased. This was kind of like a confirmation. If you look, this is in August, like this is 10 days or so before the Jackson Hole and before the August dump. So whenever you're looking at the 5-year notes compared to DXY, if you have a divergence that is bearish for the bond market goes down, or it looks like it's going to go down, you anticipate increasing interest rates, which then gives you a bullish dollar. If the bond markets are looking like they want to rally, then you anticipate decreasing interest rates and a bearish dollar. So you use a lot of stuff, but SMT is really nice with it. So like, for instance, where we're at right now, I haven't really seen any kind of divergence here, but we might have had some here. Didn't really see. Higher high. Dollar. No, it was lower high. Never mind. I was failing me. That's normal. 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 No divergence that I realized. That actually. Look, we have this right here, and we have a massive lower low on the bond market. That shouldn't happen.
So what are you thinking?
Well, that along with, like, let me look at some bond TA now. Got these.
Pretty bullish for bonds, shit. I would think.
Yeah, that would mean interest rates are likely to decrease. The bond markets are likely to rally, which this looks bull fuck to me. We had that SMT divergence, and this is a little different than a lot of people would use. I use it with the low and lows. Some people only use higher highs and the lower low, but it's how I use it. It's how I use it over here, and it was definitely correct. That's why. And for any of those watching or that don't remember, weren't here for the video, we called the stock market rallying from the bottom in June or July, not June, July. Go watch. It's literally on my YouTube. It's Will the Markets Recover 20? And this is exactly the same. If you want to get like an in-depth tutorial on how to do this. So, I mean, pretty bullish structure there on bonds. Obvious bearish structure here on the dollar. Got that volume imbalance we're reacting off of, and the 1 hour is exhibiting bearish order flow. Look here on a weekly chart. Got this massive liquidity void. We've also got equal highs at the top of that liquidity. A lot of times liquidity voids you'll see completely swept. This is on a weekly chart. I don't know, man. Pretty bullish for bonds. And the 5-year notes are more immediate. I'm glad we got on this subject. Yeah, that could be something. I'm gonna keep an eye on this. Yeah, what you would look for is if the bond market's likely to rally, that means you would anticipate. So what that means is, basically if interest rates go down or they stop hiking them as fast, money becomes cheaper, so to speak, than anticipated. So if money's cheaper to banks are more willing to lend. If banks are more willing to lend, people are more willing to spend money. Housing market is saying, leveraged funds are able to acquire capital. There's a lot of, it's like a ripple effect. You know what I mean? So, and I'm pretty sure, I know JPOW just said recently that they were considering a slowdown in December, but that to me, I don't trust that shit. And this doesn't mean it's going to be the next thing. He's just going to say something, but it just means that large funds are starting to anticipate a potential slowdown.
Yeah. I just don't think so with those numbers last Friday. Like That's
Which
exactly
ones?
why we dumped NFP
Yeah, but that's the thing. If
and all that.
NFP were they bad? I didn't even look because I was on vacation. So if NFP,
Yeah.
if unemployment is higher, that means they have to stop raising interest rates. So why don't I just type in Forex? Oh, Forex Factory. My brain
Yeah,
just
but I was
gone.
reading also the biggest drops in the bear market occurred after the Fed has pivoted. So
Yeah, no, I mean that's for sure. Like it definitely. I'm not saying the market's not gonna drop. I'm just talking about interest rate.
no,
But
yeah, for sure.
was it?
'Cause usually it's really bearish when like things like this just don't make sense in the market, like the dollar
Oh
dropping
no, this is
indices
this is good
dropping
for
and
yeah. So why the fuck did they have forecasted 200K? Are they smoking meth?
bro, they want to make shit look better before the numbers, so they trap everybody.
I mean, but that's like a massive. That's like a fucking
It
massive.
is. That's what I
Like
was thinking
20%.
too.
More than that. It's like a 40% fucking drop. But yeah. So that's why the DXY did. Yes, the last Friday.
Yeah, but could even hold that
Yeah.
shit.
Didn't even do that. Honestly, it really didn't much.
Yeah, it
Odd.
didn't.
Should have seen a massive push.
Like really, I'm surprised my short worked out with how DXY was looking, but the setup was there and I took it.
A lot of manipulation going on in markets.
I think I got a good I think I got a decent average in on my shorts though. Top of today's range. If it breaks out of this range, I'll just stop out for some decent profit.
Well, I just realized what time it is, guys. I'm probably gonna hop off here, and I got those Euro limits set. You guys got free. Hey, but yeah. If you guys have any questions, you know how to get at me. I'm gonna start scheduling the streams too. So Streamlabs is so much better than my old shit, and I'll probably be putting out a video today too. I'm gonna try to start putting out more stuff for you guys. But